I need to say this clearly because this viral video is a perfect example of what happens when we avoid real boundaries and use fear to teach. Fear-based discipline doesn't grow the skills we want for our kids, and my goal here isn't to shame anyone, but to help you understand that one, fear is not a good motivator and why, and two, even if this is what you know or do, to challenge your beliefs and help you realize there are other ways to teach or discipline our kids. Here's my first issue. Dressing someone in a white coat for this kind of skit feeds the same fear kids feel when they hear, if you don't behave, the doctor will give you a shot. It pulls medical professionals into a scare tactic we didn't sign up for, and it makes real care so much harder. It turns trusted adults into threats. Every trusted adult in a child's world should be a source of safety and not fear. So please don't drag us into a moment where what's needed is a clear boundary from their trusted adult. What's really happening here is something many parents and caregivers deal with. You don't want to say no, and you don't really want the meltdown that comes after. You have been taught that fear creates behaved children, or maybe you were raised like that. So instead of holding a steady boundary, we jump to theatrics and fear that feel easier in the moment. But here's the developmental reality. Fear can stop behavior. Yes, but it doesn't teach. The instant obedience we see is not understanding. It's a stress response. The child isn't learning anything about screens or self-control. They're trying to get safe. And here's why fear works short-term, but fails long-term. Fear shuts down learning. A scared brain doesn't absorb guidance. It's focused on surviving and not thinking. So there is no long-term understanding of the limit. Fear breaks trust. Kids need to know adults tell the truth and keep them safe. When fear is used, limits start to feel unpredictable and scary instead of steady and supportive. And fear skips the actual skill they need. Kids don't learn regulation because they're scared. They learn it when an adult sets a clear limit and helps them move through the feelings that may come with it. And the meltdown isn't the problem. Our discomfort with the meltdown is. A child can handle being upset. What they need is an adult who can stay steady while they feel it. And unfortunately, so many adults are uncomfortable with an uncomfortable feeling child because they themselves never had an option to feel. So what do we do instead? We set the loving limit. We communicate it ahead of time. We remind them when time is almost up. And we can give them a simple choice. It's time to turn the TV off. Do you want to turn it off or do you want me to do it? And then we follow through kindly and consistently, even if they're upset. We validate feelings without loosening the boundary. That's our responsibility as the adult. Real teaching sounds like, screen time is done. I know this is hard. I'm right here. Why don't we go for a walk outside? Simple, honest, steady. You don't need fear to teach healthy screen use. You don't need to pretend to gouge eyes out. You need clear expectations, predictable limits, and the willingness to sit with temporary discomfort. That's how kids learn, and that's how boundaries actually stick. Save and share this if you found it helpful, and see below for more.